The Trump administration is currently putting forward a proposal that would be unprecedented at this moment. They're considering sending out refund checks to millions of Americans. This initiative could actually surpass all previous stimulus payments distributed during the pandemic. To put this into perspective, those $1,200 stimulus checks, the $600 payments, and even the $1,400 disbursements may seem insignificant compared to the potential refund checks Americans might receive due to overpayment. I want to break down exactly what's happening, why this is unfolding now, and what the Trump administration is stating about it. Keep in mind, though, that Donald Trump's current stance is essentially the same as what he was advocating for a year ago. I'll explain all of this shortly, but before we dive in, do me a quick favor. Take 2 seconds to hit that like button if you appreciate these daily updates. Now, let's get started. Many people are understandably skeptical about the actions being taken by the Trump administration and the significant influence that Elon Musk is exerting. Musk has assembled a team called the Department of Government Efficiency, tasked with reviewing every federal agency and program to identify and eliminate waste and fraud. Recently, it was revealed that there are millions of people listed as being over 120 years old who are still receiving Social Security payments. This is just one example of the rampant fraud and financial mismanagement being uncovered. According to reports, the federal government has squandered trillions of dollars, prompting Trump and Musk to declare that enough is enough. They are meticulously scrutinizing each government program and agency to minimize unnecessary spending. However, this effort is also leading to mass layoffs, potentially on a massive scale. If reports hold true, we could see layoffs in the thousands, possibly tens of thousands. Specifically, more than 880,000 federal employees have chosen the deferred resignation option, meaning that by September 30th, they will officially cease working for the government. Technically, they have already stopped working, but they will continue receiving salaries and benefits until that date. Now, let's examine what Donald Trump has been publicly stating. A statement released under his official YouTube account a year ago remains highly relevant today. Listen carefully and let me know your thoughts. This is exactly why Democrats are outraged. According to Trump, crooked Joe Biden, our disgraced president, has squandered trillions of taxpayer dollars in under 3 years, leading to rampant inflation that is devastating working families. Reining in Biden's reckless and unnecessary spending is critical to curbing inflation and saving our economy from collapse. However, the burden of spending cuts should fall on special interest groups and Washington bureaucrats, not American families and seniors. For 200 years, under the U.S. system of government, it was widely accepted that the president had the constitutional authority to curb unnecessary spending through a process known as impoundment. Put simply, this means if Congress allocates more funds than necessary to operate the government, the president has the authority to withhold the excess rather than waste it. Instead, those funds could be returned to the general treasury, potentially leading to lower taxes. While we have already delivered the largest tax and regulatory cuts in history, something I take great pride in, this move could further reduce tax burdens. Now, let's discuss another crucial point. NPR has raised the question, can President Trump override Congress's spending decisions? The debate over impoundment is ongoing. The fact is, a president does possess the ability to withhold allocated funds from certain agencies and programs. Consider this. Under the previous administration, Pete Buttigieg was responsible for distributing billions of dollars, yet much of that money remains unspent. Now, the Trump administration has identified these unused funds, and states like New York are voicing strong opposition, asking why these funds are being reclaimed when they had already planned to use them. Here's the reality. The funding had been approved by Congress, signed into law by President Biden under the Inflation Reduction Act, IRA, and distributed to states and municipalities. However, much of the money never actually got used because priorities shifted. Since these funds were originally designated for specific projects that are no longer necessary, many states now argue that they should retain the money for other purposes, whether for infrastructure, housing, or other community programs. The core issue is that taxpayer money was collected, but a significant portion has yet to be utilized. This is precisely why President Trump is advocating for impoundment. Lawmakers are now debating whether impoundment is necessary. Consider what happened during the pandemic. Over 476 million stimulus payments were issued, totaling $814 billion. These were direct stimulus checks of $1,200, $600, and $1,400, not including PPP loans or EIDL loans. The Trump administration is now exploring ways to put money back in Americans' pockets. One option being discussed is extending the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which would help keep tax rates lower. While businesses would benefit, so would consumers, as more disposable income would flow through the economy. The administration has also identified billions in overspending, particularly within Social Security. Some estimates suggest that around $700 billion in excess spending could be redirected into Social Security's trust fund, allowing it to continue generating interest. If invested properly, this money could yield substantial long-term benefits for the economy. There's also discussion among Republicans about investing Social Security trust funds in the stock market to increase its growth potential. Another area of scrutiny is U.S. foreign aid and federal employment inefficiencies. Previously, U.S. aid programs employed around 10,000 people, but now fewer than 300 remain. Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency are investigating massive redundancies, uncovering multiple employees performing the same tasks. Additionally, thousands of federal employees have been working remotely while simultaneously holding second jobs or running businesses, something the government has only recently begun to address. The Trump administration is now assessing how to reduce tax burdens while recovering wasted federal funds. One possibility is to claw back unspent money and use it to reduce the national deficit. However, many Americans expected a different approach. Reports suggest that lawmakers are seriously considering redistributing these recovered funds in the form of refund checks to millions of Americans. Unlike traditional stimulus payments, these would function as direct refunds, putting money back into taxpayers' hands. The impact of such refunds could be significant. Families could use the money to purchase homes, cars, clothing, pay off bills, and cover essential expenses. While this could stimulate the economy, it also presents inflationary risks. Nonetheless, based on multiple reports over the past few weeks, the Trump administration appears committed to issuing refunds to millions of Americans as a way to boost economic activity. This approach marks a major shift, seeking out and reclaiming wasted and fraudulent spending, then redistributing it to taxpayers. Whether in the form of $500 or $2,000 refunds, such payments could provide substantial relief to struggling households. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As of now, this is what we know. Thanks for watching, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next update.